The Caribbean Sea was quiet when the first alert sounded aboard the Coast Guard cutter. It was just past midnight, the sky low and heavy with humidity, and the ship was moving along a well-known trafficking corridor that stretches between the Venezuelan coast and the open lanes leading north. The patrol had been routine until a small spark of heat appeared on the FLIR display. Low, fast, and running without lights. The signature was unmistakable. A go-fast boat. The crew moved instantly. No shouting, no confusion. Just the shift in posture that happens when training takes over. From the bridge, the officer of the deck ordered a change in heading. The cutter leaned into the turn, its engines pushing deeper as the ship began closing distance. Below, the small boat crew pulled on their gear, tightening vests and gloves with movements sharpened by repetition. The RHIB would launch soon, and everyone knew the risks that came with matching a smuggler's reckless speed in the dark.
All teams brace for impact. We are taking heavy swells approaching the target zone.
The helicopter launched moments later. Its rotors chopped through the thick air as it rose from the flight deck and banked toward the target area. From above, the crew had the clearest view, a narrow wake slicing a crooked line through the dark water. The go-fast boat was already accelerating, likely aware that they had been detected. The helicopter tracked the movement, sending updates down to the cutter. Speed rising, heading inconsistent, payload unknown. The chase formed quickly. The cutter advanced on the long route, using its size and power to block any attempt to break north. The RHIB launched from the stern, engines howling as it bounced across sharp waves to take the flank. Overhead, the helicopter tightened its orbit, studying every shift in the fugitive's movement. It was the classic triangular formation used in maritime interdiction. Cutter, RHIB, and air support working in silent coordination to trap a vessel built purely for escape. The smugglers pushed harder. Their boat zigzagged violently, throwing off arcs of spray as they banked toward the shallows. It was a dangerous move. Sharp coral ridges cut through the seafloor like broken glass. But desperation drives decisions that defy logic. The helicopter warned of the terrain ahead, but the go-fast crew showed no sign of slowing. Instead, they dumped the first of several tightly wrapped packages into the water. A tactic as old as the drug routes themselves. Lighten the load, destroy the evidence, and hope the pursuers hesitate. No one hesitated. The cutter adjusted its course, running deeper into the risk zone. The RHIB felt the worst of it, smashing through unpredictable wake and wrestling with shifting currents that pulled at its hull. Every man on board braced through the impacts, trusting the coxswain to thread the line between speed and survival. Above them, the helicopter dropped lower, its spotlight carving a path through the dark water as the chase intensified. The smugglers made their most dangerous move next. They turned sharply to starboard, accelerating to their maximum speed. The maneuver nearly rolled their own hull, but they steadied, aiming directly toward a narrow gap between the cutter and the RHIB. It was a gamble meant to force the Coast Guard to back off. Instead, the cutter's commanding officer issued the order that everyone on the water understood immediately. Warning shots authorized.
Roger that, firing out.
Get down! Hard right now! They're everywhere, sir. We have to go faster. They're hitting us! Go faster! I'll try and hold on! Hold on! They're getting closer! Target forward! Go! 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 We're hit! Move it!
Warning rounds impacting the surface. Observe the thermal expansion. The stabilization is adjusting for the rotor wash.
The first burst cut through the night like a bolt of lightning. The round struck the water ahead of the fleeing boat, sending up columns of spray that glowed white under the helicopter's beam. The sound rolled across the waves, crisp and final. It was not an act of aggression. It was restraint delivered with force, a message written in muzzle flash and water impact. Stop now. The smugglers felt the shift. Their boat wavered, skidding across its own wake. Another burst followed, placed deliberately ahead of their bow. The engine tone dropped, faltering for the first time since the chase began. The hull turned sideways, momentum finally breaking. The go-fast boat drifted, then slowed to a near standstill. One by one, the crew raised their hands in the stark white light. The RHIB advanced carefully. Its bow tapped against the side of the smuggler vessel as boarding officers stepped aboard.
Stop the vessel now! Keep your hands visible! I repeat, show me your hands!
Their weapons remained low, their voices steady. Compliance was immediate. Exhaustion hung off the smugglers like sweat. Some stared at the deck, others stared out at the water, perhaps realizing how close they had come to losing everything in one reckless sprint. Inside the hull, the Coast Guard found what they expected: modified compartments, fuel cans, stray debris, a residue of narcotics. More packages floated behind them, drifting like ghosts in the current. The boarding team marked the locations for recovery. Above, the helicopter widened its circle, scanning the horizon for any secondary threats. None appeared. The cutter closed in once the scene was secure. Lines were passed. The smuggler vessel was prepared for tow. The detained crew were transferred with calm efficiency. No injuries. No weapons discharged beyond the warning shots. For a night that could have ended badly, for both sides, the outcome was as close to a clean resolution as these waters allow. By the time the first hints of dawn touched the horizon, the operation had shifted into its final stage. Reports were filed, evidence was logged. The helicopter returned to deck, its rotors spinning down in slow, tired revolutions. The RHIB was lifted aboard and secured. The cutter resumed its patrol course, engines settling into a steady rhythm that carried across the still dark sea. From a distance, it looked like any other patrol boat pushing through early morning haze. But for the people aboard, the night had left its mark. Chase operations always do. They test the nerve of every sailor involved. They demand discipline and restraint in moments when instinct might push toward force. And they remind everyone that the Caribbean, with all its beauty, hides shadows where danger moves quickly and without warning.